It's the night. It's the night where you get what you need, your deliverance, your breakthrough, your healing, whatever you're standing in the need of. Listen, I believe this discussion is going to set you free tonight. I have here with me some amazing people from the kingdom. Come on, y'all, shout it out, give it up for them. I don't think they want to talk to y'all tonight. But they in here nevertheless. We thank you all for tuning in. We're going to give you a second to tag you somebody, share this discussion tonight. We just going to dive right into it. We've already got started before we got live. We just going to pick right up on the discussion that we've been in before we started the live. So if you are cooking, whatever you're doing, listen, I want you to put it on simmer, because I don't want you to miss anything tonight. So grab your seat, grab your popcorn, grab your tea, whatever you got. We're getting ready to go in and dive into this discussion. Our last session, we was talking about unhealthy attachments, and we're going to pick back up on that discussion again today. I want to give you another definition of what trauma is, because the unhealthy attachments that may show up in our present, they didn't start in our present. They started in our past, and we've been recycling behavior. We've been repeating patterns almost all of our lives. And despite what we may think or what we may feel, some of us are not even aware of it. If somebody points it out, it seems foreign to you, because you think that the way you've been operating or flowing in connections or relationships or even on jobs is not normal. So the result of why we act the way we act, it comes from the root of trauma. And that word trauma, if you look it up in the Greek or the Hebrew, it means a wound. A wound has to be attended to, it has to be cared for, or it will get infected. Are you infected? Are you the one that's affecting the relationship? Are you the one that's affecting your friends? Are you the one that's affecting the ministry? Are you affected? If you're not aware that you are affected, somebody has to be able to see your life and be able to diagnose the condition of what you're dealing with. And I want to show you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with trauma. And trauma is any moment or series of moments that have lasting negative effects on your physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, relational, financial, and or your social well-being. Trauma affects every area of your life. And that's what we want to deal with. That's what we want to tackle today, because we want you to show up as your best self. And the way some of us have been showing up is not our best. We got more to offer. But if we don't see the problem, we cannot fix the problem. So hopefully tonight we'll bring some light to the things that have been hidden in our life or we thought was normalcy. So we pray that we break free from that stronghold, that bondage. Yeah, that's it. Thank you all for tagging, sharing. Continue to share this. So we're going to pick back up on this discussion. Let's call those unhealthy attachments. Let's call them out again. What do they look like? Somebody said controlling. Somebody said people always want things their way, never considerate of the other person. They got a lot of masks on. They ain't showing up as their authentic self. Anybody else?
Never able to satisfy.
Never able to satisfy them. Anybody else? Does these things sound familiar to you all? Or are you the one that's never satisfied? Or are you the one that's controlling? Or are you the one that's never able to be able to please? Are you the unhealthy attachment? And, you know, not to beat anybody up, but in order to get free from it or heal from it, we got to first acknowledge it, right? We got to first confess it. We got to take a look at ourselves and say, well, okay, yeah, that sounds kind of like me, right? That takes humility. That takes a position of saying, I'm ready to change. Because the way I've been showing up, the way I've been, you know, even picking friends, whomever, why do I keep attracting this kind of stuff? So let's jump right into it, you all. What does that controlling look like in an unhealthy attachment? What does it look like?
Like you can't say, like sometimes you can't, what you say don't matter, or you ain't getting heard sometimes.
You ain't getting heard, or what you say don't matter. How does that, okay, anybody ever been in that predicament? Where you said something, but what you're saying is being dismissed, or it's like you're just talking to a brick wall. How does that make you feel? Or how did it make you feel?
What I gotta say don't really matter to you.
What I gotta say don't really matter to you.
Make me feel like I want to just be quiet.
Be quiet, make you
Isolate.
not even mention it anymore, right? So, okay, but it don't fix how you feel though. Cause now I gotta hold it. Cause I'm gonna hold it because, okay, I don't want it to be no argument. So now I'm compromising to not express the way I feel, but I'm still not dealing with it. It's still not fixed, you know, but I'm trying not to trigger you because every time, okay, I mention something like that, you get triggered. So to not trigger you, I just won't say nothing. And we're gonna both move on, but we still got a problem that we ain't resolved. So we still got a problem. And if it continues to happen, whatever the problem is, it's gonna keep agitating you. It's gonna keep bothering you, and you still ain't gonna be able to express what you feel. So how do we, what's the solution in that? Do I keep not saying it? Do I keep holding it? Do I keep suppressing it?
Somebody gotta grow. Are you just gonna explain away?
Boy, you going straight on in. Boy, you came from violence to that. Okay, is that somebody gotta grow?
Somebody gotta realize.
A part way, right? Because if whatever the connection is, relationship, friendship, ministry, okay, I ought to be able to come to you and express, okay, there's a problem, without you getting triggered, without you getting in your feelings, right? Because, okay, if you're growing, the man or the woman, this can be both ways. If you're growing and you're healing, one thing you're not going to do is you ain't gonna hold it. You're not gonna keep it in because this person is immature and can't handle it. Now, my method should be smooth as possible because I know they may be immature. But I'm not gonna hold it, but I'm still gonna be to the point, I'm gonna express to you what the problem is or the way you making me feel. That's growth on your part, because if I'm not growing, if I'm not healing, I'm gonna hold it in, I'm gonna suppress it. That's not what healed people do. Because what it's gonna do is gonna cause you to cope. Oh God. we got life jackets on tonight. All right, let's dive on in there. It's gonna cause you to cope in some kind of way, in some other area, to cope with the stuff that you're suppressing, that you can't articulate or express with the person you need to express it with, right? I'm gonna cope on alcohol, I'm gonna cope on marijuana, I'm gonna cope on drugs, I'm gonna cope on whatever you're gonna cope with to try to deal with the stuff, you know there's a problem. And in order for us to have a healthy attachment, this problem got to be dealt with. And the way we deal with it is we talk through it. And if I don't have a person that's mature enough, that's able to be able to sit down and handle hard conversations, we ain't growing together. Somebody might be growing, but we ain't growing together. And it's going to always be a pull. It's going to always be a tug until it tug you right out of their life. Because if you continue to grow, you're not going to walk around anybody on eggshells.
Sure enough.
I'm telling you the reality. You're going to get frustrated and agitated to the point where you throw your hands up. If you keep growing, if you don't continue to grow, you'll stay there. And you'll never deal with it. But it needs to be dealt with for the relationship, the connection to be healthy. Because we don't want to just stay in situations because it's familiar and it's comfortable or because I love them. That's the elephant in the room.
Yes,
because
it is.
I'm going to say this, love don't keep you together.
Sure don't.
I think I'm going to get up and walk out.
Go ahead.
Now love should be the foundation that you build on, but with love, I got to have some communication.
That's right.
With love, I got to have some respect. With love, I got to have, you know what I'm saying? It's other things that are necessary other than love to keep y'all together. You can love me, but you don't know how to communicate. So how we going to address problems and deal with issues if we don't know how to talk? Or every time, okay, we do talk, all right, you get in your feelings. Now you're in your feelings. Now I can't talk to you because you are dismissing what I'm saying. You'll bring up something from the past. That ain't what we talking about though. How quiet in this room today. God, I mean, so it's an unhealthy attachment, right? If we are growing together, I got to be able to sit down and take the uncomfortable stuff you're going to bring to me. Just because it feels uncomfortable or you may not like what's being said don't mean you don't need it.
Sometimes some people can't take correction.
Right?
I think sometimes
Right.
people love people, but they don't like them.
They don't
They
like
don't
it.
like who they with, but they love them, but they don't like
They
them.
don't like them. And that's
Stay
a
with
reality.
Yeah, they stay because they used to them,
Right.
but they really don't like them. That's why
Right.
they don't communicate. Because
Right.
I don't really like you. I love you to be here with you, but I
Uh-huh.
don't like you. So they got to get to a common ground.
Uh-huh.
You know, either we get to liking each other
Uh-huh.
to get to that real love,
Right.
or we need to go our separate ways.
Absolutely.
But a
Absolutely.
lot of people don't want to do that because a lot of people don't like to be by themselves.
Oh. People don't like to be by themselves.
Right.
I don't like to be by myself.
Me either.
I'm like Adam. God look at me and say it ain't good for me to be alone. Look what God said
That's
about
right.
me.
That's what he said.
So he saw that was a problem when you are by yourself.
That's right.
I gotta get this man somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so nothing wrong with you not wanting to be alone, but okay, will I connect with the wrong person rather than be alone? So you got two choices. I'm gonna be with somebody and catch hell and be sad and miserable. Or I'm gonna be alone and
be
I'm happy alone now. I mean, my flesh may want some companionship
Amen.
every now and then. And watch it. That's natural.
Amen.
That's natural because God created us to be in connection, fellowship with people. So it's okay to long for companionship or just to have somebody in your space. But watch this. Are you going to compromise your peace and your sense of happiness just to say I got somebody? Come on, talk to me now because you know this is real because the divorce rate in the church is high as it is in the world.
Yes, it is.
So church folks are connecting with unhealthy attachments also with your prophetic self. with your laying hands on the sick and they recovering self. With your, you know, God calling you from the
Shabbat.
foundation of the world. And that's you. You are who you are in the spirit, but how are you showing up in the natural?
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? How are you showing up in your emotional space, in your perspective?
That's it.
How you treat people? Because watch this. I don't need you to come and you know come to the church and speak in tongues, but when we leave, we can't even speak to each other in English.
Come on now. You better speak.
You see what I'm saying? You go ahead, you come in the church, you hug everybody in the church, but you walk, and when you get it back in the car with your spouse, y'all don't talk all the way to the house. Come on.
That's the
What
truth.
I'm saying is, you gonna go through stuff with your anointed self, with your prophesying, speaking in tongues self. You gonna go through stuff, but how you gonna show up when you go through? Because the real you come out when you go through.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna bring out the part of you that's really you. So how do we get to a place, you all, where we are not the unhealthy attachments, or we stop choosing unhealthy attachments? Because if we keep picking unhealthy attachment, something broken in us. We can't see right. So our lens has got to be fixed. Because what draws us in so fast? The outward appearance, right? The outward appearance or the first impression. So how do we get past that?
It's hard not to, you know, I was just sitting up here thinking, you know, when we was having the singles ministry, and you say it a lot now. My first date is interrogation.
It need to be your first every day you go on with them.
And that's what I was going to say. I think we need to keep the interrogation
You got to.
going. And then somewhere we're going to see that unhealthy
Right.
stuff. But are we too far in
Go ahead.
to
Okay.
put up a warning sign or
Okay.
to sort of,
Have some boundaries.
Back up.
right.
Have some boundaries.
A lot of times we're
We dive it in.
we're dived in
No life jacket, nothing.
before we see
Right. One night stands.
something here is unhealthy.
Don't look. Don't.
Don't do
I
it.
like to hear that. They heard it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you right. Now this is what we touched on our last class too. How do we get to the point where we don't invest so much in the person where we can't see it? And I believe right there we moving too fast. We're not patient enough to see what we need to see. We are excited. Oh, I met somebody. I think this is my husband. I think this is my wife. You know what I'm saying? You are all excited, but you don't even know them yet.
Keep the options open.
You see what I'm saying? You don't even,
You give yourself time.
you ain't giving yourself time. We are rushing, and I can just speak from experience.
Go ahead.
We're not giving ourselves time to see, okay, all right, how you, you know, like this. How are you, okay, when you're sick? How are you when things don't go your way? How are you, you know, with your parents? Are you submitted to anybody in your life? Do you have a pastor that you're submitted to? Are you submitted to your parents? Are you submitted to anybody? Okay, so write this down in your notes. This is what's going to help us to be able to recognize unhealthy attachments. Write it down. This is it's gonna mean the same thing in Greek and Hebrew. Time. That's it. Time. Because if you give time, what you need to see will be revealed. If you want to know if somebody is sincere about what they're saying, the only thing you need to do is wait. Besides their actions, time will reveal if what they said is really true. And I think what we do, we get invested too fast. We lead with our emotions and our feelings. And we overlook the red flags, we overlook signs that we may see, but oh, she look good. So we'll push it to the side. And it don't go away. And by the time we, the newness wear off, now I'm addressing the stuff I should have brought up in the beginning. But I overlooked it. I said, well, okay, yeah, she got a good job. She cute. She business minded. But she don't know how to communicate.
She unstable.
And she controls it. And she don't want to hear your side. Whatever she say or whatever he say, that wasn't gonna happen. But watch this. They were like that when you met them.
But you ain't see it.
They hid it.
That's all I'm
They
saying.
hid it. But watch this. You can only hide
For so long.
for so long. And here's what I've learned. The right questions in the beginning can reveal a lot.
Yes.
I don't know what we asking. I don't know if we just asking what we want to go out to eat at. No. You
No.
need to be asking, okay, you got any money? Do you got your own place? Do you pay your bills? Okay, how many children do you have? Okay, all right. What church are you a part of? What's your credit like? All right, how do you treat your baby mamas?
Go ahead.
How do you treat your baby daddies? Did you slander the last man or slander the last woman that you broke up with? Why y'all ain't right?
Oh.
Because watch this. If they did it to the last person,
They're gonna do it to you.
if they ain't healed now, if they have not healed, if you become an ex, get what's gonna happen to you?
They're gonna sling
You
you.
the same way.
They're gonna do you the same way. But a lot of times we feel like, okay, they love me. They not gonna do me like that. But they loved him. He loved her.
And he still did it.
Still doing it. So I'm coming to you. Time is on your side. And when we get past the flesh and wanting to just be with somebody, we'll see better. We'll know what to look for. We'll know the right questions to ask. But I'm gonna go ahead and just be frank with you. It's still not gonna be enough questions that you can ask to find out the sum total of who they are. You got to watch things. And if what they say in the first couple of dates, if it ain't lining up with their action, that's something you need to, okay, well, this is what you told me. You need to address it. I'm talking about, with your heel self. Calm and just, now come on now, you ain't finna, don't go off because you healing. You growing.
Okay.
So you're not triggering me. I just want to show you what I'm noticing.
Yeah.
This is what you said in the initial couple of dates, but this is what I'm seeing. Your action doing the opposite of this. Now, is this what you really are? Or this is who you really are? Because this is what you said. So now you putting the ball back in their court. I need you to respond to me because okay, this ain't what I want.
Right.
You can make a decision then. Okay, this person ain't for me because they starting out manipulating,
That's right.
hidden agenda. And if I want the end goal bad enough, which is you,
Yeah.
I'll fake it till I make it.
Yeah.
Y'all understand what I'm saying? Because that happened. I'm not gonna put the real me on display because I want you, and I'll do whatever to get you. Y'all understand what I'm saying? But if I'm not showing up as my best self, as my authentic self, I'm lying. So that's
Deceiving.
definitely a red flag. So patience, time is on our side to be able to recognize unhealthy attachment. Now, if you are the unhealthy attachment, the stuff that we're saying, you gotta. It's not fair for us to be broken and not have dealt with our past trauma and bring somebody else in our life.
That's right.
It's not even fair.
It's not.
It's not fair because
He healed.
you gonna project your trauma that you ain't dealt with on the person that's closest to you. Guaranteed.
No stepping away.
It's gonna always happen, or you gonna run them away.
So what do you do when you can't recognize the trauma?
You can't connect with nobody.
I'm saying though, like, say if
You
you
talking about in
already
yourself?
in a relationship
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah, like
you
one
didn't
person
know that, all right, they say they do something and you didn't know that what they did could trigger you as bad as it did.
Okay.
What do you do? Like, okay,
Like when they trigger you. You didn't know it was still there. That's what you're saying?
yeah, well, or you didn't know it was there at all.
At all.
Cause nobody has triggered that trauma in you.
I got you.
But then when you get with this new
They
person,
triggered.
they triggered that trauma in you, and you didn't know it was there. How do you deal with yourself? Cause you gotta recognize it. Now you gotta deal with it.
Right.
But
You saying what's the next step when you find out
Yeah.
something is there that
Mhm.
you didn't know was there?
yeah.
Well, actually,
Counseling, I guess.
yeah. You gotta go. You gotta go to somebody who's able to take you to what triggered you. It's something in you from your past that's causing this present reaction to manifest.
Mhm.
So it's coming to the surface, and whatever's coming to the surface, this is what you're gonna have to deal with. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna have to get counseling, therapy, whatever to deal with it. But you gotta want to deal with it. Normally, when you see people who are triggered by something or reacting in a way, they may not even know that it's a problem.
Cause it can look normal.
It can look normal because that's what they've always seen.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But this is why it's so good to expose yourself with people who are healing. They bring stuff to your attention that you ain't never been aware of. And then when the light is shining on it, this is what the Bible tells us, that when we look into the Word of God, we see ourselves. And this is what people will do. Even other unhealthy attachments, it'll bring stuff out in your life that you thought was dealt with or you never knew that was there. So it brings your attention to something that you need to deal with, that you need to fix. The first step in fixing it is acknowledging that this is a problem. That's the first thing.
Mhm.
Now, when I acknowledge that it is a problem, what am I going to do to fix it? Because watch this. Nobody around you can fix you. They can assist in you being fixed, but they cannot fix you. So it's important to have people around you that can assist you and bring your attention to something. They say, Cameron, you may need to go get some help for that.
Healthy attachment.
A healthy attachment. Somebody who is unhealthy themselves, they'll think it's normal too.
But sometimes we can be so used to unhealthy attachment that when
Right.
the healthy attachment comes along,
Girl.
they start telling us the things that we don't want
We
to
don't
hear.
want to hear.
But and then here we are running off the
The
healthy,
healthy.
attachment and bringing in the unhealthy
Girl,
attachment
you
all
talking
over
good.
again. So it's just like,
Self-sabotaging.
yeah,
That's all it is. You're self-sabotaging because the person that's mature,
Mhm.
healing, growing, they're gonna always challenge the person who may be broken, who may be in the process of healing, but they may not be there yet. It's going to challenge them, and if they're not open to the challenge, they're gonna fight it because it's gonna feel like an attack. It's gonna feel like they're coming against you, but what they're doing, they're trying to grow you. They're trying to assist you to be able to see, okay, well, this is what you're doing. This is it right here. But when you are in denial and you don't want to see it, you are refusing to grow. That's basically what you're saying with your action. Okay, I don't want that. I don't want to receive that because watch this. I gotta uphold an image in front of everybody else like I don't have this problem
I was gonna ask you, how do you get up out of that state of mind?
of not wanting to see that you got a problem.
Right now,
It got-
get help and
You gotta
running your help off. And
changing your mindset. Changing your mindset. Because people who don't want to see it or don't care to be better, there's nothing you can do for them. They gotta first want it. They got to start the process in their own mind to say, I got a problem. If that does not take place, nothing nobody can do around them can help them.
I believe 65% of the people know they have a problem. They
He said 65.
Yeah.
That's a large number now. But
just,
I agree. I don't know if it's that number, but it's a lot of people. They don't want help. And I'm coming to you. I ain't forgot about you. They don't want the help. Now watch this, because we can see it all over social media. People are comfortable with looking like they got it, and they don't even really have it. So I put off an image of, okay, I'm mature, I'm growing, or I got the bag, and I ain't really got it. So I like pretending rather than actually
Actuality.
putting in the work. Cause it takes work to grow. It takes work to heal and to deal with stuff that we have dealt with or actually haven't dealt with all of our lives. And we keep showing up the same way, and we keep wondering why we keep getting the same results. You can't get different results by doing the same thing over and over again. It's not the prayer that you need to change. It is not that you need to go on a 40-day fast. It's not that you need to be more anointed in the spirit. None of that. We need to target our perspective. We need to target our emotional responses and our reaction. Because if somebody say the right thing to you, it's going to trigger you. And you're going to respond like you responded the last season. But how do I keep giving people this much control over my life?
But, okay. Say if a situation does occur. Say you are in your healing process.
Right.
And you haven't snapped in a long time, but this one situation makes you snap.
Right.
That doesn't mean you're going all the way back to step
It
one.
don't.
You're still healing. You
Right.
just had a moment.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Because, okay, healing don't mean you're not going to make mistakes.
Right, not healed, and healing.
Yeah. Healing is a process. It's going to be until you leave here.
Yeah.
Healing is not the destination. Healing is the process. Wholeness is the destination.
Amen.
So if I'm healing, I'm still going to make mistakes. But what healing does, it makes you more conscious of yourself. It makes you more aware to like, okay, well, I did do better than I did the last time. You know, I failed right here. You know, I need to do this to keep those things from happening in my life. But if that one thing keep triggering you, okay, I need to work on that. I need to work on what's in me so it won't keep triggering me. Like that. Now, your emotions and what you feel when you triggered are good. Let me make that clear. Because what you feel, your emotion, you may get angry, you may get frustrated, you may feel like killing somebody. Those feelings are good.
It helps you recognize.
It helps you recognize. It's just like your car. When your oil light or something, a light will flash on your dash. When you on E, it'll flash. Motor symbol will come up. It's letting you know something wrong.
Something need attention.
Some need attention. And that's what our emotions do. Our emotions let us know, okay, something wrong. Maybe around us or in us. But it's a sign to let you know, okay, something need to be dealt with. Because if I'm still reacting up, if I'm triggered to the same thing that keeps on triggering me, it's triggering me for a reason.
Yeah.
So I need to find out, how do I stop this from triggering me? Not stop me from feeling it. You want to feel it. You can't stop what you feel, but you can stop how you react to what you feel. You see what I'm saying? So I can feel what I feel. I can be mad, and I can feel like I'm just going to blow the whole thing up. I need to feel that. But I need to have somebody or be in a space by myself, or if I do have somebody, to be able to talk me out of the way I'm feeling.
So it's not how you feeling, it's about how you respond to
That's
it.
it. Because your feelings are valid. Your feelings are who you are. If you don't feel nothing, you're not alive. You want to feel it. If somebody disrespects you, you ought to feel disrespected. You know what I'm saying? You disrespected me. Even if I get to the point where I respond to the person who disrespected me, and I say, well, I don't like how you did that to me. I'm in control, but I'm dealing with what I don't like, the way you made me feel. Now, if I go back and disrespect them, I'm just like them.
Same here.
You see what I'm saying? Whatever I feel, I need to be able to manage it and respond the right way to the disrespect, and not let what I'm feeling lead me and control me. That makes sense?
It does.
Yes, ma'am.
I have two things I wanted to say. One was, I think we hit it the last time too, is that, sometimes you need to have a relationship with yourself, like spend time with yourself. And I think a lot of people don't do that. So if you can't spend time with yourself, cause I was one of the people that I wouldn't go out to eat by myself, go to the movie. I was like, shame, you know,
Right.
or you don't wanna be by yourself and you know, look, other people looking
Right.
at you. If you can get past that, and then you know you can have some time with yourself,
Right.
then you know you can interact with other people, and you won't get triggered as much, and you won't feel that loneliness
Right.
if you can spend time with yourself.
Right.
You won't need that person, another person.
Right.
Even they toxic or whatever, you won't look at that because you're really looking at, you just wanna be with somebody.
Absolutely.
You're not looking at, is this gonna really work? You're not even really looking to the future. You're just looking in the moment.
Mhm.
And two, if you do get with somebody, because even if you ask the right questions, because I believe I did, they will kind of lie or, you know, deceive or whatever. Is it wrong to ask them if you can speak to their ex? Like if they had an ex, if you know the ex, if they could talk to your ex, you could talk to their ex. Is that wrong? I mean, I'm just putting it out there for real.
I wouldn't say that it's wrong.
Because, you know,
I wouldn't say that
there's
it's wrong.
always three sides to a story.
Right,
His,
right.
hers, and the truth.
Right.
If you get them to get the situation together, you're gonna know the truth.
Yeah. But,
Because the thing, I know might make a person feel uncomfortable.
right.
Because I do know that people don't mess with people that was their friend, man, and stuff, so you already know how he is.
Right.
But I'm talking about somebody like that, if you just come into town like me, I just moved in town, I don't know nobody.
Uh-huh.
You understand what I'm saying? So if I go out there and I meet somebody and I wanna date them, I wanna know the
Right.
real you.
Right.
And you can be deceiving to me, because
Absolutely.
I've had that happen.
Right.
I can ask all the right questions.
Right.
But they'll tell you everything you want
You
to
wanna
hear.
hear.
They'll be that
Absolutely.
man for you
That right.
6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 3 years
Uh-huh.
later. And then their colors will show. But by then, like you said, you're invested.
Right.
So
you
so
got
what do you do then? Because
don't,
now
don't
you're
get
invested.
invested. That's the part.
That's a
we
lot
gotta-
of your time.
Don't spend that much time. Then if I got questions, if I got doubts
Mhm.
about you when I'm first meeting you, we going on first a couple of dates. It was real nice meeting you. But you know, I enjoyed you. You know, thank you for the time that we spent together. But I don't think it's gonna be another day.
I feel like the sign is there.
Yeah,
'Cause
they
if
are.
they can spend the whole
I've done
day talking about what she did,
Right.
what you did.
Because if anybody shows up in your life, this is good. If anybody shows up in your life, always pointing the blame on the other person,
Mm-hmm.
that's a red flag.
Yeah, because you had
That's a
to do
red
something.
flag. Now, I'm not saying that they were bad people or something like that, but it got to be something that you see
Push
that you got to take ownership of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, there are some really healed people that just get messed over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not dismissing that either, where somebody was absolutely amazing to an individual and they just were just greedy and just did what they wanted to do. That happens. But if I got doubts, if I got to go to your exes and stuff like that, I don't want to put in that much time because I ain't really sure about you.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? If I got to go
Yeah.
to those degrees and I ain't really sure, I don't want to waste my time right now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't trust you already.
Yeah.
You see
But
what I'm
if you
saying?
already have a trust issue,
So you don't need to date.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't date because if I got a trust issue, I'm gonna project that on the person that I'm gonna bring into my life. Yeah, I gotta be to a place.
Trauma.
Right, that's from trauma. It's a reason why you don't trust in the
Right.
present because
Mhm.
this person ain't gave me a reason not to
Not
trust
to
them.
trust them. Right.
But if I go into that space and I'm not trusting, I'm not ready for a relationship. Because my insecurity gonna have me snooping.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I think
Let me see that phone. Let me see that phone while you sleep. You know you gotta put the face recognition on there. You're gonna be snooping.
Yeah.
And let me tell you how powerful the mind is. Once you get something in your
You're
mind
gonna find it.
and you believe that,
It said,
your mind
The small
will
thing.
cause things to be attracted
Mm-hmm.
in your life, and you'll find something, and it may not even be there. You know what I'm saying? But because you believe that in your mind, you look for it, and every little thing that looks like it, now that insecurity is just heightened.
Yes.
You
yes,
don't understand
yes.
what I'm saying? So if I'm not healed in certain areas, I don't need to allow for anybody to come into my life. Because if I got trust issues, if I'm insecure, anything will trigger that.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So you want to be healed. You want to be your best self when you bring somebody into your life. And the reason why I say that is because what if God allows for that person that you meet to be the one where y'all can spend the rest of y'all life together, but you ain't whole enough to be able to handle them properly, and you mishandle it, and you lose it.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So because God not coming down to work on the relationship.
Right.
He's not coming down to do the work for you. He'll orchestrate a situation for you maybe to meet somebody or something like that, but you got it from there.
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta make sure that we doing more than, just the spiritual aspect of who we are, because you more than a spiritual being. You're human.
you gotta do some self-management.
You got to do some self-management. Your emotions, your perspective. When you are healing, you heal in more than one area. You heal physically, emotionally, relationally, financially, and what's the other one? What did I leave? I said spiritual, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mentally.
Did you say
Mentally. That's it. You got to heal in all those areas. Paul says it like this: when I was a child, I thought like a child. I understood as a child. He said, but when I became a man, I put away. Y'all understand what I'm saying? How are we 40-something years old and we can't sit down and have an adult conversation without arguing? Because our emotions, it don't matter what nobody say to you, you can still control you. Are we gonna sit here and talk, or are you gonna overtalk me?
Another thing I want to say.
So when I come like that, I'm really upset. Cause I'm the more upset I get, the calmer I get. I'm talking about now. I ain't always been like that. Cause I go to 1,000. I'm talking about in a split second, but now I get calmer. Okay, so now you just gonna overtalk me. You ain't gonna. We're not gonna have an adult conversation. I'm really chopping you up because I'm making you feel like a child. Cause this is the way you acting. Are we gonna have an adult conversation, or are we gonna? Do I gotta break through a wall and have you while you have a temper tantrum, or can we sit down and resolve this issue and move forward?
Sometimes
But
you have to do
that
the
do-
opposite. The
Huh?
opposite of what your mind's telling you to do. Sometimes, like, just say for instance, you finna go cheat. You need to do the opposite of that. You don't need to do it.
Exactly.
You need to do the opposite.
Cause when you
Sometimes
upset
that
and
works for you too.
when you upset,
Like you
and
said, you calm down.
you gotta calm down.
But see, you do the opposite. Like your mind says you want to flip out.
Exactly.
But you're doing the opposite.
Cause
You're
that
doing
we
it
used to
calmly.
doing.
You're right.
We used to doing that. That's the only tool that we using in our arsenal. Anger.
It's a defense.
It's a defense. It protects you. So you lash out. You ain't finna talk to me like this. You know what I'm saying? That's a protective
That's
mechanism.
right.
And it's not protecting you
It's not.
though. It's causing you to react because of what you're feeling at the moment. So when you feel it, I gotta process this. Instead of just knee jerking, reacting to it. Okay, I gotta feel I'm angry right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me calm down. Even if I gotta,
Do something.
That don't work.
and you know what I'm saying? This means, see, we gotta be quick to listen.
That's right.
And not just to other people, but listen to what our emotions and our thoughts are telling
In
us.
the man.
It's telling you, go on right now.
Yes, sir.
Call them out their name.
Mm-hmm.
Just walk out.
Mm-hmm.
Go find you somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever you want to do. Bump this. I'm done. And just walk out. You know, y'all come on up with some stuff. Y'all know how I go. You know what I'm saying? That's the reaction. But watch this. If I want this to work, I'm gonna do everything that I can on my part to make sure it works.
That's right.
Y'all understand what I'm saying? And when I am done, I can throw them deuces up. And I can recover quicker because I done did everything I know to do to try to save this, to try to help this, and to try to assist us into being in a healthy space.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's gonna hurt, it's gonna be painful,
Oh, yeah.
you still gonna feel, but you have to make a decision. And just like people have to make a decision, if you are the unhealthy person,
Mm-hmm.
whether you want to grow, whether you want to heal, whether you want to move from the place that you are, you got to make a decision that I want better than this.
Mm.
If you don't make that decision for yourself, it does not matter how much anybody else around you wants you to have it or want you to be healed, want you to be whole, until you decide it for yourself. That's when the process of you healing will take place in your life. But you got to be around healthy people for people to point out these things in your life, not attacking you, but telling you this because they love you. Because a lot of times we are passive aggressive.
Yes, sir.
And what that is, okay, you may not be verbally saying nothing, but while somebody talking, you doing all this. You know what I'm saying? Passive aggressive.
Yeah.
You just dismissing what I'm saying and my feelings and all of that kind of stuff. And then when you do finally respond, you know, I ain't got nothing to say.
Whatever.
What?
We are.
And
You know what I'm saying? I know you got something to say. You just angry right now, and you don't know how to express your feelings and have an adult conversation because now you mad. So if we don't have this conversation and resolve what needs to be resolved, we still got a problem. We still got an issue. So we gotta be a mature enough adult to be able to have the tough conversation, even when it's about us. And you know the intent of the person who's bringing the information to you. We gotta know what we know, even when our feelings are fighting against what we know. We gotta be able to put our feelings in check and say, yeah, you're right. I don't like the way this making me feel. I don't like the way this making me feel, but okay, I need this. I need you to bring this to my attention because I've been repeating this cycle all of my life. So we got to get to a place where we remove the walls, the barriers, the defense mechanisms, and allow for people who love you to be able to show you without you getting defensive and start not liking them because they're trying to help you.
Yes, yes.
And when we are broken and when we are in broken spaces, we show up broken. We don't know how to recognize healthy attachment, healthy people God sends into our life to get us from one state to another state. They are trying to assist you, but healthy people are not going to drag you. They're not going to fight with you. They're not going to keep going back and forth with you because healthy people realize I cannot keep casting my pearls to swine. When you don't want it, I can't make you want it. And I don't have the energy. I don't have the time to try to force it on your life whether you want to heal, whether you want to grow, whether you want to mature, because a lot of us are making declarations at the beginning of the year. This is my year. I'm going to get a husband this year. I'm going to get a wife this year. I'm going to get the bag this year. I'm going to walk in my career this year. But you get attacked with some toxic, unhealthy individual, and you end up repeating the same cycle year after year, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a boo, or whatever it is. We got to be quick, watch this, to be able to receive rather than, should nobody, okay, if you are dating somebody, you are friends with somebody, nobody should have to fight through the walls that you put up to have a conversation with you. I'm talking about they got to go through an act of Congress to have a conversation with you because you so closed off.
Yes.
You so offended and you can't take nothing. Why do we got to almost just get a bulldozer to tear your wall down and you don't realize that you acting like this till 5 days later? Who wants to do that? That's an unhealthy attachment. How is it that we can't, okay, because we love God. We saved. We are Holy Ghost filled. We said fire baptized. I don't even know what that is, but fire baptized.
I believe it comes from generational trauma.
It does. It does. I didn't want to go that deep, but you pushing me down. Generational trauma. Trauma passes down through the DNA. If you would just ask questions in your family, mom, dad, granddad, ask them, how were they? How they used to act? And you're going to find yourself operating in the same characteristic that they operated in. It passes down through DNA. So this is why this is so important, you all. It's so important because healed people don't miss what's supposed to come to them. My God, y'all missed that part. Healed people will not miss what's supposed to come to them. Because if I'm healed, watch this, I can recognize what I don't want in my life.
Amen.
I got patience enough to vet this person and not get overly extended into it where I miss the red flags or I don't address them because I'm healed. I'm growing. And I can acknowledge, okay, this is, I can see you coming a mile away. You ain't the one. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Healing gives you a different lens to look from, a different perspective. And you won't look from the same lens or you won't move like you moved in the past. I won't be so quick because I met somebody. You know what I'm saying? I won't be so quick. I ain't excited. Actually I'm nervous because it may be another nut. It may be, y'all understand what I'm saying? So I ain't overly emotional. I'm going in with a clear head. I ain't drunk me 3 glasses of wine before I go on the date. Come on, can we just be weird? Oh God. You know what I'm saying? I need my mind to be clear. Because I need to see if I heal people care who they let in their life.
That's right.
I'm not just going to let anybody live in my life. I don't care if you got a 12 pack on your abs. 12 pack, it don't matter if you 36, 24, 36. They got the number. Y'all understand what I'm saying? You can't get drawn away by their outward appearance. Because he can have a 12 pack, but he can be abusive. He can be controlling. She can be fine, but she immature. She don't know how to have a conversation. Or she very insecure. Right? And fine. Take your insecure fine self somewhere else. Because that ain't what I need. That's not what I want. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So healed people see different. Healed people just don't jump for the first thing that they see or move with what they feel.
The bare minimum no longer excite them.
Come on now. I don't want just the bare minimum. If I'm God's daughter, if I'm God's man, I know he want me to have the best. So why are we settling when your father when your father say you the apple of my eye,
Come on.
and I want you to have the best.
Come
I don't want to withhold any
Any good.
good thing from you. That's a good man.
That's right.
That's a good woman.
That's right.
That's a good job.
That's right.
That's a good career.
Come on.
That's a good bag
Come
too.
on.
Y'all understand what I'm saying? So we gotta be to a place where we deal with us. Where we look at us and not project and you know, because normally what we do when something is uncomfortable, we'll shift the blame.
Yeah.
We'll try to bring up something else. No, come on back here. This is what we talking about. Let's deal with stuff that make us uncomfortable when we having these hard conversations. Well, you got to be able to take it. You got to be mature enough to be able to deal with it and accept it. If we don't deal with unaddressed past trauma and we do not heal in our emotions, in our mental space, we are going to continue to repeat the same cycle. It don't matter how saved you are, you still gonna repeat the same cycle. And nothing will be new because we like to say all things are becoming new. But for people who ain't healed, all things don't become new. Yes.
Can we heal together? Did you heal over there and I heal over here? Why can't we heal? Can we heal together?
That's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Both parties got to be willing to heal together.
Together.
You see what I'm saying? I can't be, if we're healing together, I shouldn't have to drag you along.
Right.
If we're healing together, that means, okay, I can express if there's a problem that you caused against me, or vice versa. We can have these conversations. But if we're healing together, and let's say, for instance, one person is healing faster than the other one,
I mean, with the therapist.
that's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a therapist
together.
or a counselor. Yeah,
And-
that's possible.
I just feel in front of the counselor, and if emotions gonna rise, let them rise in front of somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But see, sometimes the problem is people don't want accountability.
Right.
Or we can go to counseling, but when we leave counseling,
Arguing.
okay, there's another problem. Cause I ain't want you to reveal what we've been going through. So now it's an argument. You ain't really ready to heal because you still want to project the image off of like you don't have this problem.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a problem and it's you go to a safe space, you got to put it all on the table. Because what you are keeping a secret, what you hiding, okay, a person can't help you in that area because you won't reveal it. You won't bring it to the forefront. So they got to be able to, to look bad in the counseling. Whoever it is, you can't. For some people, they want to go so far. They'll tell the counselor or the therapist or the pastor about their spouse, but they won't share what they're doing. And if the spouse or the other person share it, when they leave, now it's an argument. You have to put my business out there like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be healed. You don't want to uncover yourself for the betterment of this relationship.
Right.
That's what I thought.
You see what I'm saying? You got a part because they don't want it. One of the worst things that you can do is try to make somebody get something that they don't want.
That's right.
Why would I give you more of something that you already don't appreciate? Good God, man. That cold land. Why would I keep on trying to give them that? If you don't appreciate me and what I'm trying to do, why would I keep giving myself to you? So we out of time, y'all. We done went way over
I
time.
want to say something about double-minded people.
Double-minded. Come on, Steve.
That's unhealthy.
It's unhealthy.
Geminis?
It's unhealthy.
I'm a Gemini.
The Bible says, okay, a double-minded man is unstable in all of their ways.
That's right.
That means, okay, I'm not stable at all. because in actuality, I got two minds,
Mm-hmm. You don't know which one right.
and it's pulling me all kind of ways.
Uh-huh.
So I'm unstable in so many other areas because, you know, I need to be single-minded.
Right.
If I'm single-minded, you know, I don't want to be pulled in so many other perspectives and ways. Either you trust me or you don't. You can't trust me and not, you know, and be insecure at the same time.
That's right.
That's double-mindedness. I'm telling you I trust you, but I keep going through your phone.
Mm.
I keep telling you I trust you, but I'm asking you who the woman is that, you know, that you might just be talking to on your job. You say you trust me, right?
Oh, you like
Why you gotta know everybody that's a woman that come around me? Let me volunteer the information, because if I'm here, I'm gonna come to you and tell you who it is. Because I know you're insecure, and I'm trying to assist you in your insecurity.
Insecure.
So I'm gonna let you know where I am, how long I'm gonna be there,
Mm-hmm.
what time I'm leaving. Because I'm trying to help you in your insecurity.
Right.
But if you ain't growing in your insecurity, all of that still ain't gonna, it ain't gonna solve anything,
No.
because you ain't working on it. So you gotta, healing has to take place.
Mm.
Healing has to take place in people individually. We can want people to have it. Now, there's nothing wrong when you see somebody making an effort.
That's right.
That's when you be patient with them,
Mm-hmm.
because they're not gonna get it overnight. If they've done it all their life, it ain't gonna go away overnight. Practice. You got to practice this stuff. If I know I'm gonna be triggered by a certain thing, I got to practice. Okay, I'm not gonna let this, you know, trigger me like this. You see what I'm saying? I'm practicing it and I'm bracing for it. You know, because a lot of times you can see signs of it coming.
True.
You see what I'm saying? Yes.
I feel like for a lot of us, we don't really know what a healthy bond or heal look like, because everybody's living in a fairy tale.
Okay.
Nobody's really willing to just put it all out on the line. I'm not gonna say it's nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are not willing to put it on the line. This is what I went through. This is what, like, for relationships, for the young women of my generation,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a lot of women that's gonna be willing to open up and tell you this is what I had to do to get here.
Right.
So a lot of us are figuring it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of us are figuring it out on our own.
Right.
And then most of the time, us figuring it out on our own, we really ain't figuring out nothing.
Because you missing.
We making up our own stuff and
Yeah.
just going with it, and
Come
we
on,
feel like
baby,
it's
come on.
right.
Okay, now let me share with you what you can do, because there are a lot of models, a lot of women who are healed, who have gone through the same stuff that you've gone through and that you gonna go through. We got to expand our reach of where we're looking for a model at. You see what I'm saying? There are women all over social media that are healed. I'm talking about giving out great information, talking about women's femininity and how you handle yourself, how you manage your emotion. It's all over the place.
But that's the thing, though,
Mhm.
because right now, you know, we in this culture thing where now some women are making being feminine look more masculine than it
They
should
make the
be.
right ones. Yeah, they make the right ones.
So it's like
Yeah. You got to sift through the trash.
There you go.
Because there's a lot of trash out there. I'm going to tell you now. The book that I recommended you all to get, Kobe Campbell, she's a licensed therapist. She do YouTubes and stuff on a weekly basis. You see what I'm saying? So if you want that information is readily available. But we just gotta change our circle. If I don't have nobody in my circle who can point me to somebody who's healthy, I got to change my circle.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody got to be able to give me more resources and information than what I'm exposed to. You see what I'm saying? So, your pastor got a wealth of information of women that I can connect you to. You know what I'm saying? Yes, ma'am.
The information is out there,
It
Right.
is. We just don't know where to look.
but we know where to look.
Mm-hmm.
But this generation today,
Mm-hmm.
they don't listen. They don't apply.
Right.
They get the advice.
You know
They
what?
don't listen.
I wouldn't leave it to that generation either.
Well,
'Cause-
it's
We all
yeah.
did.
Well,
I'm gonna take it even further.
Okay.
It's an older generation
It's an
that won't
older
listen
generation
either.
too,
So
yeah.
yeah.
We
And
all
I
did.
think what it is though, you did mention it, and we're gonna close up right here. There's so much unhealthy information out there,
Really.
and it's hard, especially if you ain't really seen a model of how it's supposed to look in front of you. You can get blown away by some information, and I think what needs to happen. Okay, let your pastor vet. Well, Pastor, I've been listening to this woman. What you think about her? You know what I'm saying? You got to have somebody that you are accountable to. That even if somebody's pouring into you online, and I may not know if it's healthy for me or not. Let my covering vet this for me. You see what I'm saying? That's how you stay in a safe space and a healthy space of knowing. Okay, yeah, that's a good person. But you gotta when you hear it, and when you begin to tap into mature people who are healing and who are whole, they're gonna challenge you. I'm talking about they're gonna do it without even trying to do it, because where they're walking at and the level that they're operating in is gonna challenge you, because it's gonna cause your emotions to come up, your perspectives to come up, your life to come up. It challenges you, and the reason why I think we quit is because that challenge is uncomfortable. I want the end, but I don't want that uncomfortableness in the middle of it. So it's hard. I'm gonna share this, y'all, and we're going home. Healing is like walking down a path, a road with nails in it. And when you're walking down that path, you're gonna step on some stuff that you forgot about, that you didn't want to address, that you didn't want to deal with. But when you're healing, you got to step on it. You got to feel the hurt. You got to feel the pain of it.
Yeah.
This is how you heal from it. Some of you all have not even grieved some of the stuff that traumatized you. Sometimes a good cry can release toxins and impurities. That's what research has shown. It comes out of your tear ducts. Some stuff you have to grieve. Some relationships you have to grieve. Some family members you have to grieve. Some old connection, you got to grieve it. And you got to have a funeral. Earth to earth, ash to ash, and dust to dust. And you got to realize some stuff, it's got to be dead to you. It's got to be over with for it. Because if you are healing, you want the right connections in your life, because the right connections push you and they assist you in where God wants you to end up at. If you don't have that in your life, you're doing yourself a disservice. But this is the moment where everybody can share it. If something was said today that bless your life, the prompts are on the screen. Thank you for your continued support. Your generosity and giving into this ministry. We do not take it lightly. We thank you again for tuning in. We apologize for going over our time. Do have a few announcements before you get out of here. The 22nd of this month,